Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Reiki's in. I hope we're all well. Just a little catch up so far. I'm going to talk about Moldavite in this video, but I'm just going to do a quick little catch up about how my week off is going so far, and it's been going really well. I've had a couple of Reiki sessions, one yesterday from Kirsty in Retford in England, and one the day before from Claire Thackeray. So I had Reiki for 2 distant sessions over 2 days. So yesterday I was just like, just so zonked out. And today still feeling a little bit like that, a little bit lightheaded, a little bit tired and sleepy. But it's just ways the body tries to deal with that shift, I suppose, with that shift in energy. Something else that I've got lined up today is I'm going for a massage with my friend Kerry, and she's based in Redcar. She runs soul triage quantum energy healing. So she does a range of therapies, from massage, various forms of massage, reflexology, Reiki, Sekim, quantum healing, emotional code therapy, and she's also going into Akashic now and working with the Akashic, which is very interesting stuff. So yeah, so I'm going for a massage later. I'm sure we'll chat all sorts of weird and wonderful, but it just shows the importance of this time that we need to give ourselves to kind of, just to rebalance and get ourselves back to a good place, especially when you've been working non-stop like I have, with client work and then job work on the side and more client work, and it gets to a point where it does start to take over a little bit, and it's these times that we need to be more aware of our energy, of what's going on with our energy in our body, how we're feeling. Are we feeling run down? Are we feeling tired? Are we feeling achy? And that's the body just telling you, just slow down, take it easy, take a break. So, I mean, a lot of people aren't aware of the body, and they'll just take painkillers or medication or anything like that to try and get rid of it. But a lot of the time it's the body just saying, just just put the brakes on a little bit and just have a little bit of you time. So that's what this week is all about. So yeah, it's been really good. And then at the weekend I'm going down to Whitby in North Yorkshire with a friend of mine for the Mystic Weekend. There's all sorts going to be on there, therapies, crystal sellers, stalls, talks. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be really good. It's going to be nice to get out with a good old friend of mine that we've been friends for 30 plus years. We've been friends from school, so that's going to be really good. I also received this from a friend in Scotland, Yvonne, lovely Yvonne. She's the lady that did my Reiki Zen wood burning, which is up on the wall, and she also did another burning that I've got downstairs. But yeah, so this was a little gift from her for my birthday, and she was messaging me frantically for days, asking, has it turned up, and we kind of conceded to defeat and said, it must have been lost in the post, it's gone somewhere and it's not going to be found. And then it took about 11 days to get here, so jokingly I said it must have been coming on donkey. She said she could have walked from Scotland and got it here quicker herself, which she probably could have done, to be fair. But yeah, that's lovely. Yvonne's such a lovely caring soul, and she's always thinking of people, so thank you, Yvonne. So today's video, Moldavite. I want to talk about Moldavite. I've not done many videos about Moldavite, and there's been quite a few people talking about it lately on social media and on various places. Mark Bayersky, who I follow on YouTube, he's always on about Moldavite quite a lot, but it is becoming extremely rare. A lot of fakes, very expensive, so you have to be careful when when choosing your pieces and when getting your pieces. I've only got one piece. I was going to try and get another, but it seems so scarce right now. It's really hard to get a genuine piece of Moldavite. So alternatively, if you can't get Moldavite, then get a Tektite. Tektites they're not in the same league of Moldavite. They have a totally different vibration to them, but they are also extremely powerful at protecting your energy and protecting your rooms, homes. Tektite's really good for healers as well, but we're not talking about Tektite, we're talking about Moldavite. That's my piece of Moldavite. How do you know if it's a genuine piece of Moldavite? If you look through it, you can see all the little bubbles, you can see all the little indentations, lines, cracks, you can see the layers within it, you can see all the pops and bubbles on the surface, you can see, you can't see quite well on this, but you can see on the surface how it looks a lot like a Tektite. You can see all the little intrusions. Yeah, just, I mean, you do get museum pieces which are more like what they call hedgehogs and that come from the Czech Republic and from Germany and all around that area that are really, really pristine pieces. You can get pieces that are a lot smaller than this as well. You can get pieces which are much bigger. But again, like I've said before about crystals, it's not about the size of the crystal that makes a difference. They're all as powerful as each other regardless of the size. Like I was talking about when I was doing my cleansing video and showing you about cleansing with sage, I was saging this amethyst. It's a lovely chunk and it's beautiful to meditate with, but it's not about the size. Meditate with that piece. It's just as beautiful and just as powerful. So Moldavite, I've had some strange experiences with Moldavite lately, and Moldavite is a stone of transition and a stone of change, and it's a glass. Actually, it's a piece of glass, but we'll call it a crystal because it's just as beautiful as a crystal. But yeah, stone of change, stone of transition, and a stone and a glass crystal keeps calling it a stone, and a crystal of awakening. Really, really powerful, and it's got mixed reviews. There are a lot of mixed reviews with regards to Moldavite, and I've talked about this before in a previous video about Moldavite, but I might go into it again, because when people discover Moldavite and it comes into their life for a reason. And sometimes the reason is that they need to change or transition from where they are. And a lot of people don't like change and they don't like transition. They like to be in their routine. But when Moldavite comes in, it can either drastically change things quite fast, which makes a lot of people think it's negative and it's not good. And I've seen a lot of comments from people on various pages about Moldavite and how it's ruined their life, or changed their life to the extreme. If you see a bit of smoke, I've got some incense on just down below here. But then there are a lot of people out there that talk about how powerful Moldavite is and how it's changed their lives for the good and for the better. And I'm one of those people. And I know a lot of people that have used it and have found it has been massively transitional within their spiritual journey, their awakening, their spiritual development, whatever it may be, whatever it's been brought into their life for. I was drawn to Moldavite via one of Mark's videos, and there was something about it. There was something about the way he was talking about it, and I just thought I need to try and get a hold of a piece of this. And I looked at some of the stuff on his website, and I was just like, it's a bit pricey. I'll hang fire. Anyway, I went to my usual local crystal store and discovered that they had some pieces of Moldavite. And she said, "Oh, it's very expensive." I said, "I know," but I said, "It's not as expensive as what I've seen online on other websites." So I got this piece. This piece was about 55 pounds, something like that, I think it was. And yeah, as soon as I got it and I started working with it, I started working with it quite gradually and incorporating it into my day and into my routine, because I was aware of the intensity of its power, and I was just coming into the line of work with crystals. I mean, I've been working with crystals now for probably about 4 or 5 years, something like that, maybe. I got into crystals before Reiki. Maybe 4 or 5 years, something like that. It's unimportant, really, but so I was made aware quite quickly of how powerful this was, and I was then drawn to meditate with it, and I could only meditate with it for short periods of time because it was giving me really lucid visions, powerful visual visions, lots of colours, especially colours, and connection to obviously spirit guides. That was after I was attuned to Reiki, but I do believe that the Moldavite did help with that as well, because I haven't actually worn it for about 3 weeks. I always wear it every day, but it's been in my backlog of other crystals that I've been working with and cleansing the energy, working with them, sitting with them, meditating with them. And the other day, this has never happened with Moldavite with me, but the other day I was sat just meditating. I've done lots of meditation this week, but for a couple of the sessions I've used Moldavite, and I was sat, and initially I was just holding it with my eyes closed, and I was just running it through my fingers and feeling all the indentations, the shape, all that sort of stuff. I was seeing the colours, seeing all the imagery coming up and what have you. And then I sat back and I put it on my heart chakra. And I was sat back in the chair downstairs, and I just had my hands in my lap, and I just continued to go with the meditation. That kind of balanced on my chest because I had my beads were on, so it was just cupping them on the chest. And I sat for a few minutes, and then I started feeling something quite unusual, and I'd never had this before, like I say, with Moldavite. And I'm sure probably a lot of people have had this before, and they're probably thinking, what, you've not had this before with Moldavite? But I have not had it before with this piece. And my whole body started to shake, started to tremble, started to vibrate. It was my energy. My energy was vibrating, it was rattling, and it was my whole body. I could feel it throughout my whole body, and it was like almost like, but I wasn't physically moving. My body wasn't physically moving. It was my energy that was moving, and I could feel it. And it was only when I put it on my heart chakra, when I put it on there, and it was working on that energy, and it was releasing something. And I went through like a wave of emotions and feelings and thoughts and sights and sounds, which often happen with Moldavite anyway, but it's this trembling, this energetic, like whatever was going on, and I just allowed it. I just went through it and I just allowed it, and a lot of people, if that happened to them, they would probably be like, oh, and they would not touch it, they would put it away, they would leave it, they would say, no, there's something wrong with that, it shouldn't do that. But when we get to a certain frequency and a certain level, we realize and we understand the energy needs to do certain things within your physical body. And I believe, because I haven't worn this piece of Moldavite probably for about 3 weeks, it was integrating back into my energy, and my energy was integrating back into the strength of it and the power of it, but I also feel it was releasing emotions from the heart space, and because I know over the last 2 or 3 weeks, since starting to incorporate it back into meditation, there has been lots of imagery and memories and thoughts and sights and sounds and visions of times gone past and people and what have you, and they've all kind of like, these layers have been released and let go, and it's all like been unfolded out. And it's obviously a process that I needed to go through with the Moldavite. And I do know a lot of people that are healers around the world that have bought Moldavite and they can't use it. They can't have it around them because it is too much of a high frequency, and that's fine. You know, it's not, they're not ready for it just yet, but in time they will be, and they'll feel a call to go back to it, to give it a go. And that's why when I got Moldavite and I knew how powerful it was, I just used it slowly and gently and integrated it slowly into my practice, my daily maintenance, my daily routine. But since then, that happened twice, with the trembling and the energetic shaking and shifting and removal of whatever was going on. Since then, I've been using it within meditation, and the visions are as strong as I remember from when I first started using Moldavite. The clairvoyance, the seeing things and what have you within the mind's eye is just as strong as ever. The shift in vibration in the third eye and the crown is just as strong as ever with using Moldavite. The other thing I used to do when I first got this, I used to lie on my back and put it on my third eye and just go into a deep meditation with it that way. And what happened with me with that was I could feel everything, my energy was lifting, it was changing my vibration, and I started to lift out of my body ever so slightly. And the first time it happened was actually like a mistake, this astral travel thing, and it's the fear sometimes that, and I was just a bit like, oh, this fear, and bump, and I was back in. The second time it happened for a little bit longer, and I wasn't as fearful because I had more knowledge and more understanding of what was going on and what was happening by then. And again, it was a beautiful experience, and I felt so light and just didn't have any of the physical weight of the 3D world. It was so much lighter being in that frequency, being back in my spirit form, I suppose, if you want to call it that. And then after maybe 30 seconds, I came back in again. And yeah, that was the first couple of times that I did what I would deem as astral travel, I suppose, coming out of the physical. But so yeah, I mean, a lot of people look at it as a dark thing, as something that's quite negative. But you know, I've only found positivity from it. Positivity in change. But sometimes people are in such places in their life that they don't want to change, but sometimes the universe is giving them these things and giving them these messages and indications that it's time to change on, buddy. It's time to level up. It's time to do something different. It's time to move out of your 3D shackle of what you believe is reality, and it's time to go into a new level. And when people start to experience that, because it starts to operate your third eye, your energy body starts to function as it should, it scares people, because they start to see the reality of what is around them and the reality of the world, of who they are, of where they are, and they start to see actually that their life isn't as good as what they thought it was. And Moldavite and the universe, the spirit realm, whatever you want to call it, they've been brought together with you to allow you to go through this shift. And there's people I know that have come into contact with Moldavite and they've just gone along with the journey, and they're living in a van They're now homeless. They're free, pretty much of the system, but they have probably mixed reviews. And these are people that I've watched on social media and tune in with them, and they probably have mixed reviews and not quite knowing of where it's taking them and what path they're going down, but they're just going along with it and going along with their gut and what they feel. And that is beautiful. It really is. If they can give in to that calling and just follow that intuitive calling that's been given to them via the Moldavite, powerful, so powerful. So that's something I just wanted to update you guys on of what I've experienced with this. You will experience a range of things when you come into contact with Moldavite. You will experience palpitations as your energy starts to shift. You'll experience headaches, especially at the third eye and the crown. You'll experience like flushes. They call it the Moldavite flush, where you get quite hot because you're getting these palpitations. It's almost like an anxious energy, because your energy is lifting, it's rising, and your physical is trying to calibrate with the energy of the Moldavite. You may experience extremely vivid dreams. You may experience just a total shift in your perception of reality. You may start opening up to a more spiritual side of your nature and become more in tune with your spiritual self. There's a whole range of things that people can experience when they come into contact with Moldavite. Like I say, many deem it as positive and good. Some deem it as negative. But you have to look at where those people are in their life, and something needs to shake them out of what they feel is their reality, when in actual fact it's not. And when this extraterrestrial, because it is extraterrestrial, this has come from out in space, out in the universe, from a meteor crash that landed near the Czech Republic. That's why there's so much of it there, but it is finite. There's only so much of it left. That's why it's becoming more and more expensive. But that's why a lot of people are faking them and trying to make a lot of money out of it. So yeah, that's a little bit on Moldavite, or what's happened with me lately with that. But I'm going to have to scoot because I need to go and get ready for going for my massage. I want to have a bite to eat first before I go. Just wanted to give you a little update on how my week off is going, what's happening. I'm starting to take client work again from next week, which I've taken a couple of bookings of. So if you're interested in any Reiki, then do either comment below, or I'll put my website in the descriptions box as I do with all the other videos that I make. But yeah, until the next video, much love. Take care of yourselves, and I might do another one this afternoon. If so, I'll be all oily and squeaky clean from my massage. But if not, I'll see you in the next installment. Bye for now. Take care of yourselves. Much love.